Good afternoon and welcome to the latest episode of Tom Talk Live. How about those Yankees and Rangers edition? I want to do a Tom Talk shout out to Merriam Avenue School. Merriam Avenue is an elementary school that hosts grades pre-K through 4th and is located in Newton, New Jersey. They employ over 100 professionals who are highly qualified in their required fields. This helps the school to be a productive and successful establishment for students to learn and grow. For more information on this and all of the wonderful public schools in Newton, please visit newtonnj.org today. Event recap. The annual Newton Fall Festival and Car Show was very successful. The Chamber managed to control the flow of alcohol in the beer and wine tent, and the Sussex County Arts and Heritage Council Art Show at Town Hall was a beautiful display of area talent. Thank you everyone for attending. Events coming up. The annual Halloween Parade will be held on Thursday, October 31st. General Election Day, Tuesday, November 5th. Vote early, vote often. The Flags of Honor event will be held at Town Hall on Saturday, November 9th. The annual Holiday Parade will be held on Saturday, November 30th on Spring Street. And the Town of Newton tree lighting is Friday, December 6th at 5 p.m. at Town Hall. In the last episode of Tom Talk Live, we had one of our favorite entrepreneurs, Christy from Farmer's Daughter and Curd and Cleaver. Today we continue our flagrant attempt for high ratings, social media influence, and unlimited Newton Brave swag by interviewing the principal of our favorite local elementary school, Kevin Stanton from Merriam Avenue School. Great to have you on our program today.
I'm happy to be here, Tom. Thank you. That's quite the audience you have, Tom.
It's a living. Tell us. What do you do for a living?
Well, I'm the principal of an elementary school. That's a simple answer for a pretty complicated job.
And how long have you been in the position?
This is my 10th year as principal. I was assistant principal here before that for 2 years, and I had another role in the district. I was a director role. I was basically director of curriculum for a couple of years. And then before that, I was an English teacher at the high school. So I've been with Newton Public Schools for about 20 years.
And how did your upbringing impact the choices you made with your education and career?
Well, I grew up in a town called West Orange, New Jersey. If you're familiar with it,
Sure.
A Parsippany guy like yourself, you're pretty familiar with West Orange. You know, I grew up in a pretty large family. My father worked as a hospital administrator at a local hospital, and my mother was a school secretary. And so I had that choice between going into the hospital administration or going into the schools. Every once in a while, my father would take me to work, and sometimes my mother would take me to work, so I got to see both sides of it as a kid. And I just, you know, school's always appealed to me. I felt like my own schooling, for me, school was a place where I could be myself, where I could learn new things. I was always interested in books, loved reading, and school was a place where I could do that. And I always said, when people say, when I was a kid, what do you want to do when you grow up? I always would say, I want a job where I can read books all day long.
Wow.
And so I became an English teacher.
Great story. If you could go back in time and give advice to the younger version of Kevin, what advice would you give and why?
It's going to sound strange for someone who went into a career in school, but probably pay more attention in school. There's so much to learn. Every experience is so valuable. And I think when you're young, you don't realize that. And you're racing through life as a young man. And you always want to get to the next thing. And you always want to get to the next milestone. And when you get to be a little bit of an older man like myself, you realize that you missed a lot along the way. So the advice that I would give to my younger self would be to slow down. Don't worry about what comes next. Worry about what's right in front of you right now.
Great answer. What do you consider to be your greatest life or career achievement?
Well, maybe I haven't done it yet. Maybe I'm still working on that.
All right. If I could give you a do-over, what would be the one project, life decision, or choice you made that you would do over, and why?
I think the one different choice that I would make would be, instead of buying a 1984 Buick Regal when I was a kid, I would get a Camaro.
Wow. The IROC or the...
The IROC, with the T-top.
No. Oh, not the IROC. What was the most challenging experience you went through in your life, and how did you persevere?
It's a tough question. I think all of us have had personal challenges. And the key to any personal or professional challenge is, number one, to realize that the sun is always going to come up tomorrow, no matter what. So you just have to deal with what's in front of you, and recognize that whatever challenge is right in front of you, it's a temporary thing. And you're going to get through it, and tomorrow will be a new day, and get to start all over again tomorrow.
All right, tell our viewers, what is a typical day like for you in the school?
There is no typical day in a school. That doesn't exist. My day could encompass anything from changing a light bulb to dealing with the curricular issues, instructional issues, dealing with parents who have concerns about a whole range of things, dealing with food service. There just is no typical day. There's nothing typical about schools. It's probably one of the things that I enjoy most about this job, is that I come in every morning, and it's not a typical office job. I'm going to do something different every day. I'm going to experience something new every single day, and hopefully, to the best of my ability, make some kind of a difference.
All right, tell us about the student base of the school. Who do you serve? How many students? Let's talk about the students.
Yeah, well, like you said, we're pre-K through 4. And over the years, Merriam has gone through a number of different iterations. When I first became vice principal here, we were a K through 5. We were lucky enough, we got preschool expansion to expand preschool, so we moved 5th grade up to Halstead, and we're pre-K through 4. We have a little over 500 students here in those grade levels. Like you said, over 100 staff members here. So at any given time, we have well over 600 people in the building with great staff. I'm lucky enough to have served in this role for a pretty long time, for a decade now, for over a decade as an administrator in this building. So I hired the overwhelming majority of the staff here, and I'm proud to work with them every single day. I'm humbled to work with them every single day. I haven't taught in a while. It's been a while since I've been in the classroom, and I look at the work that our folks here do, the challenges they face, the difficulties they face, and every single day they put kids first. Every single day they do everything they can and give their lives to the students here. And we just marvel at it, the amazing work our staff does. And we got great kids here too. Kids who come here and love school, they want to learn. And hopefully we make it a place where they can learn and be the best people they can be.
All right, since you started in education, how have things changed or stayed the same?
So I started teaching in Union Township, which is a very different part of the state. So I'll tell you, my first classroom There was no computer in the classroom. The telephone in the classroom was a direct line to the main office. We didn't have an outside line. Cell phones existed, but they certainly were not what they are now. The first thing that comes to mind when you ask that question is really about communication. The means of communication has changed so fundamentally over the past 20 years. As I said, if a parent wanted to contact me as a teacher, as a young man working in Union, even as a young man working here in Newton, they'd have to call the guidance counselor, and the guidance counselor would have to set up an appointment, and then I would either have to go to the guidance counselor's office to make the phone call, or we would meet in person. And now the level of communication is just so much different, so much easier than it was 20 years ago.
Now, how about that handsome young man, Mr. Tosti? Did we have Mr. Tostis back in the day, or that's more of a recent incarnation of schools?
Well, in Union, we did have a security team. Interestingly enough, when I first started working here in Newton, Officer Tosti was the school resource officer up at the high school, and Officer Tosti would stand right down there in the main lobby every day, and I'd pass by him have my little book bag and get ready to go upstairs to G level to teach my classes, and I'd wave to him. I get the intent of your question. When I first started here, those doors were open. Parents could just walk in. Even when I first became principal here, a decade ago, I would be sitting here in the afternoon after school had let out, and a parent who wanted to talk to me just would come in the building and walk in my office, and I'd have a conversation with them. You know, and I understand why our doors are locked. It's not a criticism of that. But there was something nice about a parent just being able to walk into the school and walk into the principal's office and say, hey, I have a question about something that happened, or I have a concern about something.
You miss the simplicity sometimes. All right, so I'm sure you deal with all kinds of challenges. What are some of the more interesting challenges you've dealt with in Newton, as far as being a principal, staff, students, the building, capital projects, anything interesting that sticks out that was kind of an interesting challenge?
Adding the preschool, it was a challenge, but it was a good challenge. First we had our preschool up at Camp Oakzillian, and it was challenging being a principal in two different places. I tried to split my time, get up there as much as I could. And I'm very happy we're back. We're all back together at Merriam. But it is a space challenge. There's a lot of people packed into the building, a lot of classroom space being utilized. So I don't know if I want to frame it as a challenge, but it is something that we had to work through to figure out get everyone classroom space and make sure our schedule was running in such a way that everyone got all their specials and lunch and all of that. So I think they weren't challenges, but they were things we had to do.
What would you say differentiates this school from other elementary schools in the county or state? What makes us unique?
I think we provide a tremendous amount of support for our students. We're one of the few schools in the state that provide general education, speech and language therapy for students who need that. We're currently the only school, to my knowledge, in the state that provides general education, occupational therapy for qualified students. We have a reading specialist, we have a math specialist. Students who are identified as needing some type of assistance, we have the support structures in place to provide that. I'm really proud of that work.
What do you think makes Newton a great place to work or volunteer?
just take a look. Look out the window.
I know.
It's
Nice.
it's a nice day. It's a beautiful town. Having grown up in a larger town,
Mhm.
having started my career, I only spent a short time in Union. Having started my career in a larger town, there is a value to being in a small town where everyone knows everyone. And I'm both lucky and old enough now that I'm starting to see the children of my former students. The first time the grandchild of one of my former students shows up, that's time for me to go at that point. but seeing generational students, it makes my work easier because I've known some of these folks since they were kids. And it also says something about this community. The fact that generations of people stay in this town. It tells you something.
Are there other educators that you admire? Who inspires you to be your best?
Yeah, I think I go back to the teachers that I work with every day. I've been doing this for a while, and there are days when I start, the bones creak a little bit, and I start to feel my age. But then I look at these folks who are doing an amazing job every single day, and that's what inspires me.
All right, now we're going to do some fun questions.
Oh, good.
I know.
All right.
For some reason, these always stump people. If aliens landed in front of you, and you know they're real, and in exchange for anything you desired, offered you any position on their planet, what would you want and why?
I think I would like to be the head shepherd on a sheep farm on an alien planet.
Wow.
I don't know if they have sheep on an alien planet, but something about just the staff.
The staff?
And standing on a hill with a couple of sheepdogs, just looking over a flock of alien sheep.
That's not bad.
That's
good. If you had to be shipwrecked on an island, but all your human needs were taken care of, what 2 items would you want to have with you and why?
Well, so I would definitely want a CD of the Pogues' greatest hits. So, the band, the Pogues.
Okay.
Unfortunately, that CD would be pretty useless without a CD player,
Correct.
and now that's my 2 things.
And electricity too, but
You know what? Then
or batteries.
How often would that be?
Imagine
the
that.
2 things that I want, and then I realize I didn't think of electricity or batteries, and so here I am.
It would drive you crazy.
It would drive me insane.
Probably.
Yeah, it'd be like that
Fair.
Twilight Zone episode where Burgess Meredith broke his glasses.
Love the Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
That's right. Favorite cartoon?
Tom and Jerry. It's gotta be Tom and Jerry.
That always depressed me.
Did it really?
Well, being named Tom, I was like, will he ever win?
Never.
No.
He never wins.
Favorite food?
I like food. I like food.
Okay. So what do you like?
Just
Going out on a Friday night or Saturday night, I want to have
I like a nice steak.
steak. Okay.
Just a nice, and I like it rare.
Oof.
Yeah, like
Now I'm bleeding.
uncooked in the middle.
No. Tartar. Favorite movie?
It's way too cliche to say Godfather 2. That's just
Not
way too.
cliche.
It is.
It's respectable.
It's respectable, but it's very cliche.
Nah, I can't. You can't.
Everyone says.
Look who you're talking to. Right?
I guess, but it's a good movie. The third one.
Yeah, but when they redid the third one, it was good.
Yeah.
Watch it if you haven't
I
seen.
am not.
Oh no.
I saw.
You cut out scenes. Much better.
Much better.
Yes. Favorite superhero?
That's a tough one. Aquaman. Love Aquaman.
Interesting. Do you like the water?
No, I don't.
Wow, contradiction.
Don't, and that's why it gave me pause.
Right.
Because I was always into Aquaman, but never a swimmer myself.
Did you like the movie?
I didn't see it.
Interesting.
Okay.
Favorite sports team? This could go
Ready?
wrong.
Ready? It's not going to go wrong.
Oh, okay.
Because I can already tell. It's not going to go wrong.
Right, okay.
I knew at the start of this season
Right?
that the Yankees would make it. I knew it.
Did you bet?
No,
Not my business.
I'm not a big
All right,
gambler.
okay.
I knew they were going to make it,
Well,
and I had me nervous a little bit with Cleveland.
Not gonna lie.
There were some moments there where I had to turn the TV off.
wow, you gave up.
I didn't give up.
No,
I just couldn't
take it.
I couldn't take it. But you know what?
Persevere.
Came through.
Okay. Favorite musical band or act?
There's a lot of them.
Go ahead.
I mentioned Pogues. I'm a huge fan of Shane McGowan and Pogues, and have been since I was a kid. I saw it. It's an amazing experience. I don't know. I like a lot of music. I have a young son at home who is he's very into the Monkees, the '60s.
Wow.
The Monkees.
Who's- Who's his favorite? Peter Tork. Mike
I
Nesmith.
think he's a Mike Nesmith.
Mike Nesmith, see? Is it the hat, the beard? Like, what was it?
You know what? Do you know?
Yes, I know.
Tell me what you know.
I know what you'd think I know.
Tell me.
His mother invented
Invented
liquid
White House.
paper.
Yes.
Yes.
So
And that's how he became a millionaire.
And that's why Mike Nesmith didn't care.
He didn't care.
He was a millionaire
Correct.
already, so this was just fooling around.
Interesting story.
Very interesting.
Right?
Davey.
And he was very smart, too. He was like the intellectual of
Yeah. Now, what's the story with Davy Jones
in terms of what?
in terms of his name? Isn't David Bowie's name Davy Jones?
There's some.
Right?
Yes,
and
yes.
David Bowie couldn't be Davy Jones
Right.
because Davy Jones was
Yeah,
already
there's
Davy
some
Jones,
story.
and they had
I
to
remember
change,
that.
changed his name.
I'm a big Monkeys fan.
The
Things you
rest of
learn on Tom Talk are just so.
The whole rest of the interview is going to be about
The
the
Monkees.
Monkees.
All right, this is a question from one of our viewers.
Did they just call it in?
Yeah, I just got a text. Are you actually related to Giancarlo Stanton of the American League champion New York Yankees? That was from one of our viewers. Is that true? That is not true.
What? You know what? I'll say it is.
Say it is.
Yeah.
Start a rumor that he's going to come to the elementary school
Oh, that.
after they win the World
After
Series.
they win. All right. Let's do it. Let's start it right here.
All right, tell us what you love about the town of Newton or the county of Sussex. We'll do both. Anything stand out? I know you talked about making it a great place to work, but what do you love about this town?
I'm going to tell you a story about the first time I came to Sussex County. So, first time I ever drove, and again, I grew up in Essex County,
Right.
very different place. Different world.
Fair.
Very different. So I got the interview for this job here. You know, the principal at the time was a man named Brian Doherty, and Brian called me and said, "Hey, you want to come up for an interview?" So I said, "All right." I didn't know anything about Sussex County, so I'm driving up. I drove up in 15 and made that turn, Ross's Corner, and I'm heading up. And it's going to shock you. I look to my right, and there's a farm with goats. And they were like little pygmy goats, like little tiny goats. And I had never seen any such thing. And I thought, first I thought, where am I? That there are goats just right here, right on the road.
Right.
Got up to Newton and I drove in. I thought, this is the cutest little town. Like it's such the sort of the scene as you're driving in looks so nice. It's a good place to work because there are good people in this community. You know, there are people who who care about this community. They're people who care about their kids and they care about their families. And I think over the years that I've been here, that's the thing that I've noticed more than anything else. And that's why I stayed. You know, I've met my wife here. She was a teacher at Newton High School, and we got married, and we have a family of our own now. So it's the values that the people in this community have, I think, are pretty admirable. And that's why I'm still here.
Great. All right, before we wrap up, any programs, any projects, anything interesting we want to throw out to the viewers that we're working on or implementing or anything along those lines?
So we restarted a program called the Watchdogs. We've done it a number of years ago. We restarted it this year. It's an effort to get fathers and male role models into the school. It was hugely successful last time we did it, and we're having a lot of success with it now. I think we've had three. We had one in the last over here today. So it's, fathers can sign up for it, or any male role model in a child's life can sign up for it, and they come and do some activities here in the school and hang out with us during the lunch and recess periods, and kids love it.
That's cool.
And they get a T-shirt, so
Nice.
You can't beat that.
Yeah. We should do a town manager day and hang out with the town manager.
You want to do that?
Yeah, that'd be fun. Right?
We'll set a
Yeah. Let's do it. All right, thank you, Kevin, for being a good sport and
Thank you.
legendary guest on Tom Talk Live. That's a wrap. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram for further updates on Town of Newton events, happenings, and more. Rousseau out.